Welcome back to Rusted Junk, the 80s Movies podcast. Do you find yourself wanting to put on a corked hat, fight crocodiles in the outback and then move to New York? How about befriending an alien by dressing him up as a ghost on Halloween? If so, this is the podcast for you. If you remember searching for that perfect film from Blockbuster, and if you grew up in the UK, waiting for that one VHS copy to be returned to the newsagents, then welcome. We'll have fond memories waiting for you. I'm Charlie, and the rest of the Rusted Junk team are Amanda.
Hello.
Joe.
Howdy, you all.
And Dom.
Hello.
Welcome to the end. Well, the official end of the podcast. Yeah. Well, everyone thought it might have been Crocodile Dundee, but thanks to our listener Frankie, who we'll talk about in a moment, it's not the end. We've got an extension because we'd love to hear from our listeners. And Frankie contacted Joe because he's your nephew, and said, "I'd love you guys so much that I'd love you to do The Princess Bride." And
you're not going to do the accent,
Frankie. Well, how can I do a Frankie? I don't know what Frankie sounds like.
Well, just generic
How
American.
old is he?
Yeah, how old is he, and where's he from?
I think he's around 30 now.
Oh, he's not a boy then.
No.
Oh.
Yeah,
And he was
where's
he was born in New York, but he's got a southern.
My speciality. It's the only accent I can't do.
Hit the brakes, okay? He was raised in North Carolina, so now he's got a southern accent. So can you combine those two? That's a tough one. Oop,
I say, I seem to be walking here.
Jesus.
How about that?
You're supposed to be paying tribute to Frankie, not insulting him. So
I don't know what he sounds like. Well, look, is it the New York where you go, well, I want to buy coffee in New York and I want some pizza.
Bada
Right?
bing.
Bada bing and all that. Or it's
No one would say that in New York.
Lawyer in a white suit, in a white trim suit and a cap going, I say, I do believe this boy is innocent.
That's a Foghorn Leghorn.
yeah, that's what we're all thinking.
Well, go on then, Mr. Man of 1,000 impressions. Give me anything that sounds remotely English.
You? I mean, me?
No, yeah, go on. Well, go on.
I'll do yours.
Hit us with your best shot, as Pat Benatar says. Go on.
I say, what a wonderful day it is in lovely old England.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
What? What?
It's not bad. It's better than your American accent.
Yeah, it's better than Foghorn Leghorn Light.
Well, out of the three, I was the only one that went for it, unless anybody else thinks that they've got a better.
Right.
No.
Oh, look at them. Look at them all silent now. Right, I see.
So Frankie, great guy, great choice of film.
Yeah, thanks,
thank
Frankie.
you.
We haven't even told everyone what it is yet. Thank you, Frankie. It is The Princess Bride, the 1987 comedy, fantasy, everything. It's got a bit of everything. It's got a bit of something for everyone. And because it's Frankie's choice and Frankie can't be here to explain why, do you have any insight, Joe? Or maybe you could speak for him and say why he might have asked us to do this?
Well, he said it was one of his favorite movies growing up, and I guess he saw it a lot on cable. And every time it was on cable, he would watch it, and he just enjoyed it. And I think a lot of people felt that way too. I was going to say like how I felt about it. I never seen it in theaters, and it was on cable, and I think that's how a lot of people got to see it. It was on cable, and they showed it over and over and over again, and it was fun. But I don't think it did well in the theaters. I think it made about $30 million off of a $10 to $15 million budget, which isn't a huge success, but
yeah, it was 26 million it made. Yeah,
I made 26 million. Well, we'll get into it, but that was it. And again, I could picture him as a kid, just like the kid in this movie, Fred Savage. He's sick. He's got nothing to, he's home and he's watching The Princess Bride. I think a lot of people did that.
Well, personally, I'll go first then. This movie caught me a bit by surprise. I didn't know what to think of it. I thought it was just going to be a generic fantasy. I hadn't watched Legend. I had watched Kroll. Stuff like that. I thought it was along those sorts of lines.
Wait, you never seen this?
No, I'd seen it, but back in the
Okay.
80s, it's something that hadn't really interested me. So it wasn't like one of those weekend one things that I would go to the cinema to watch. But I did end up seeing it at the local flea pit. But it was good. And I think it was good. It was surprising. I think it was funny. I just thought it was cleverly done. I thought people, obviously it was based on a story, but, there was a few embellishments and, rewrites and things there. It's a good, solid, funny, and you could show it to anybody type of film. And I know people I don't know what you're all going to think of it, but I mean, I could put this on again. I could watch it again tomorrow. It's just one of those types of films that everybody in it plays a good part, I think. And you just, it is the best at what it is. Am I going to hand over? We need some sort of virtual baton that I'm just going to throw over. Do you know what? I'm usually go to Dom. Sorry, Buttercup. Over to you.
Is that me?
It is.
Yeah, not seen it before ever. Didn't even know it existed. But spoke to a few clients since we knew we were doing this, and they were like, "Oh my god, the Princess Diaries! Oh my god, the Princess Bride! Sorry, Diaries is a completely different film. The Princess Bride! Oh my god, that's one of my favorite films." I'm like, I didn't even know this thing was around. Yeah. I said you really enjoy it. Well, did I enjoy it?
I can't. I was sitting next to you, and I didn't know.
Yeah, I can't work out if it's a good film or not. It's really weird. It feels there's something missing. I don't know what it is. The plot's okay. I do think there's an undertone of S&M going through it. Watching it as an adult.
Really?
Oh God, yeah. As you wish.
I
yeah.
do. Yeah.
Jesus.
What?
Oh,
I was thinking about something else.
Throughout.
I've got that in my notes as well, Amanda. So yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, right,
absolutely.
okay.
Even when he's like being electrocuted or whatever on the rack thing, you're like, seriously? Okay.
You guys are a bunch of perverts.
Well, there we go. But it felt a little bit swashbuckly and a bit like Zorro, and it was all kind of in a melting pot. So yeah, it was all right. I think I'll probably watch it again.
Did Amy watch it with you, or
No,
you should watch it with Amy?
no, she didn't.
Yeah, if we were going to watch it again, we might. Yeah, stick it on. She might like it. I think she would. Wow, Dom. Well, continue the S&M theming then, Dom.
Don't worry. I'm going to linger on that in great depth and detail when we get into our review. Tantalize you with it, tease you with it. Yeah.
Dom.
Bring you to the heights of pleasure and with my intellectual insight, of course, that is. So I don't really remember it being released. I don't remember it as a kid, but one of my housemates at university, the pre-Hunter days in Nottingham, BC, as I refer to it, he was a massive fan and had been for ages, knew pretty much the whole script off by heart, and he introduced me to it one evening, and really enjoyed it from the start. It's a film a bit like Withnail and I when we reviewed that in a recent pod, that lines I still quote to this day, and I think it's a really witty, charming, original film, and hats off to Frankie for nominating this. And I've actually, in a bizarre coincidence, I've got a Frankie in my life as well, and they've put some recommendations that I'm going to bring to the table for our next season. But
oh, cool!
Wait for that.
Yeah, this is what we like.
We all need a friend called Frankie.
Yeah.
Because I haven't.
You haven't got a friend called Frankie. Everyone should do this. This pod should be sponsored by Frankie. We love Frankie. Yeah.
Shall I weave in Sister Sedge Frankie?
No.
At this point. All right, okay. I might.
Maybe that could be the end credits or something, eh?
It could be, yeah. We'll probably if we're going to get a copyright strike, it might as well go out in style. Joe, over to you.
Yeah, like I said, I had seen this on video, either VHS or cable. I never saw it in the theaters. And as I was watching this, I realized what the big problem was, why it wasn't successful in theaters, was the title. It's so lame, The Princess Bride, because this is mostly marketed for, or not really marketed. It should be marketed for boys, and guys to go see, because like what Amanda said, it's like swashbuckling, like Errol Flynn sort of thing.
Mm.
And when you see it, and you're a guy watching it, you really enjoy it. And I guess girls enjoy it too. But nobody wanted to go see a movie called The Princess Bride if you were a guy. It's like, they could have come up with a better title, like maybe The Dread Pirate Roberts and The Princess Bride or something like that. But I think that kind of hurt the success of this movie. But that being said, I do think it's a fun movie to watch. I do have some issues with it. I think the casting overall is very well done. But like I said, I got some issues. I don't know if I should bring it up now or later.
Ooh, wow.
Maybe we're going to discuss the film, right?
We are. And roll call is going to be a little bit more because there's a lot in there. I'm going to have to skip over some. We're going to have to in order to try and keep it to time. So on that note, should we just go into roll call and then let's do it? Okay. Yeah. Here's roll call. Here we go. Okay, so is it Cary Elwes, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Cary Elwes. Amanda, give me another film with him in it.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Okay. The lead, the Dread Pirate Roberts.
Oh, I don't know, but it was quite handsome in this film.
Right. Well,
especially
great.
with the piracy mask thing on.
Oh God, but is this gonna? I'm not having to click the explicit button again. That was a kiss of death for our podcast when we did that.
What?
Well, I don't know where you were going with the mask stuff. I thought it was going to go into the S&M. All right, okay. Dom, any other film before I go to Joe, who's probably got at least two?
Robin Hood Men in Tights, is it?
Yes,
that
very
was the
good.
one I was going to say.
Okay. So none of you were going to go for Days of Thunder.
I'd never seen that one.
Oh, Dracula, Twister. He plays a very good bad guy in Twister.
You're such a Twister fanboy, aren't you?
I am. I love Twister. It's a great film.
I was going to say, I haven't seen Twister in a while. There's a bad guy in Twister?
Yeah, him. He's the bad guy.
What is he? What does he do? Is
he tries to beat them to the punch to get in the research on the hurricane.
Oh, okay. So he's the competing guy. Okay.
Yeah, he's a competing guy, and he's a bit of a dick. He was.
Oh, you could say that word?
Yeah, of course.
And
you
that
can.
doesn't. All right. Okay.
Short for Richard.
All right.
Such as cockerel. We can equally we can say what a cock.
Okay.
What a big throbbing cockerel. Yeah. What a purple-headed cockerel.
Yeah, we're just testing the limits there. That's fine.
What a great big engorged human. Okay, that's.
He was in the original Saw.
Babes.
He was in Stranger Things, and more recently, he was the CIA director in the new Mission Impossible film, Dead Reckoning, which I believe we all enjoyed.
Yeah, and I forgot he was in it.
Yeah,
I tell you, if I was him, I would kill my agent because after this movie, he should have been a huge star. He should have been up there.
Yeah, absolutely. And don't get me wrong, Robin Hood Men in Tights is a good parody. It's a good. I mean, I know that Amanda hates those type of films, but it's pretty good.
We didn't like it over here.
Oh. Next, we're going to go.
Hang on. Whoa. Oh. Sorry,
we've got loads to go through this. But unless you've got Oscar Bants, go on. What have you got?
No, well, I think it probably is worth dwelling on why he wasn't more successful. Is it purely because it didn't do very well at the box office? Because, like Joe says, he's got everything. He's funny. He can deliver a line brilliantly. He's handsome. He's athletic. He can do the sword play and be convincing. I thought, he's an excellent actor, and it is a big surprise to me that he didn't go and do anything more substantial. Just one of those fickle twists of fate, do you think, or anything more meaningful?
Well, maybe we can look at Days of Thunder as the kiss of death, because if you're in a Tom Cruise film, you should go on and hopefully do something a bit better. But in Days of Thunder, I've only just written it down because I've only just thought of this. Michael Rooker then ended up playing Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer, which was a brilliant film for all those that remember it. But then went into junk and stuff like Cliffhanger, which is watchable enough, but it's not like Stallone's best film. And not really doing an awful lot. Michael Rooker wasn't good looking, but he's very talented. So I don't know. Maybe maybe the Days of Thunder's got it's got a curse on it. Who knows? But yeah,
So,
he should have done more.
Curse, then. Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
Curse. There we go. That's all I've got.
I'll
Unless anyone else has got
stop
a better.
hijacking roll call then if we're going to rely on that. But yeah, you go for it. Get control of the pod, for God's sake.
I'm not going to say curse for everything. It's all right. It's fine. Next one. Well, here's another one. Man, I'm not going to go for the other. I'm not going to go for Robin Wright just yet. Mandy Patinkin. My name is Inigo Montoya. Mandy Patinkin. You hardly recognise him because if you look at what he's famous for now, anybody?
He's more of a TV actor these days, isn't he?
He is. And what's his biggest show that he's in? 5 seasons? 6 seasons? Homeland.
Yeah, I know.
Big bushy beard. And you're like, yep, Homeland. So what did he do? He starred in Yentl before this. And then after this, he was in Alien Nation with James Caan.
Did you say Yentl?
Yentl.
Yeah, I remember he was in Yentl, yeah.
Yeah. He was the piano player in Dick Tracy, very slimmed down version. But he was the piano player alongside Madonna. He was in The Music of Chance with James Spader. Two massive TV shows, and none of which I watched: Chicago Hope and Criminal Minds. He was in. I don't know if you watched them, Joe.
No.
And Homeland. And I'm like going, and there's another person that I think should have done well.
Yeah, you're right.
So
I mean, I think he's my favorite character in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Okay.
I agree with that, but I didn't realize he was the same guy that's in Homeland. I don't know if he's supposed to be Jewish, the guy with the beard. That's mind blowing to me because he's a great character in that as well. He does a great performance in that as well. So
yeah, it's wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the later seasons he becomes a bit of an arse, but yeah, he plays whatever he's doing, he's playing a good part.
I think he did a lot of theater. And
yeah.
When I lived in Fort Myers, for a couple of months, or maybe I didn't know. I knew someone that lived in Fort Myers, and she was excited because she was going to go see him in some stage performance over there in either Fort Myers or Naples. And I'm like, that's weird, because again, I would think that he would be huge. I think he'd be huge at like Comic-Con conventions,
Yeah, but if he went there, he'd be there for, well, maybe for this
Princess
Alien
Bride.
Nation and Dick Tracy. That's it. I mean, he didn't set the world alight in Dick Tracy, to be fair. He played
No one did.
all right. Robin Wright. Somebody just get it out of the way. The big film that she was in, and let's move on. Not move on. Right. Okay.
Forrest Gump.
Yeah, great. Yeah. Wonderful in that.
You guys hate that movie, don't you?
I like it. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's necessarily Best Picture winner. No, definitely, perhaps not. But and let's not talk about Tom Hanks for fear of getting kicked off YouTube altogether. But I think there's a lot to like about that film, and that's a pretty original film. I would suggest, and I think her performance in it's pretty decent.
Sentimental revisionist twaddle. That's what Forrest Gump is. Of the highest order. I don't know, man. Do you like Forrest Gump?
It's all right.
Okay. That's a nice mix, isn't it? Love, hate, indifference. Great. Excellent.
Across the board then, haven't we?
I don't think did it beat out Pulp Fiction?
I think it won Best Picture, didn't it?
I was going to say, if it's Oscar Bants, we can never let it. No, it wouldn't have been because. Oh yeah, it would have been because they were both 94.
Yeah, that's a travesty. But I think why we like it over here, and I guess there's a lot of people that hate it here too. It's a feel good movie, and you kind of root for Forrest because I know I can't say the word, but he's a bit slow, and you just are happy when he succeeds. I mean, it's completely unbelievable, but it's kind of like a fun movie to watch, I guess. But I understand the hate too.
But it is a bit slow. He doesn't understand that most chocolates come with a little board that tells you what's in there. So life definitely isn't like a box of chocolates.
Well, maybe he can't read.
Yeah, well, at least he can read. He can look at pictures and go, "That chocolate there looks like that one in the box." Anyway, never mind. I think he'd buy the same chocolates so that he'd get to know what they are and wouldn't need, things like that. Anyway.
Yeah, that makes no sense. I mean, having a picture of the chocolate that's in the box is going to be the same as the picture. The picture is going to be the same with the chocolates in the box. I mean, so how are you supposed to know what's inside that if it's just a picture?
Because it's on the bottom.
Yeah.
So I know, but it's a picture. It's a picture of the candy.
Chocolate.
The chocolate
on the bottom of the box, because you just turn the box over and you know what you're going to get.
Well, what is it? Is there a picture of peanut butter? Or is there a picture of,
No, but you can look at a chocolate and you can see roughly what it.
If it says it's a rum truffle, you've got a rum truffle in the box.
You know, a truffle would look like that. An orange truffle. You just go, okay, well, it's a truffle.
Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get.
You've clearly never seen that TV show Cake or Real, because honestly, all bets are off these days. Yeah, no, you can't tell if it's real, cake, chocolate.
That is a good show.
Hollywood film from the 90s. So yeah, look, life is like a box of chocolates. It's all effed up. That's what I would say.
Where do you get your chocolates from?
Exactly, yeah. Where you get chocolate misshapes from Poundland.
Misshapes. From the factory shop.
There's a Pulp song in there somewhere. Look, anyway, I've belatedly remembered / Googled what Forrest Gump was up against. Okay, so it was a very strong year, I'll say that. So winner was Forrest Gump for best film, and it beats Four Weddings and a Funeral. Classic British film. Joe, don't know what you think of that, but that's basically
I like it.
Gritty, realistic portrayal of modern Britain. Quiz Show, which is slightly forgotten these days, I think, but also
that's a good film. Ralph Fiennes, yeah.
Yeah. Shawshank Redemption.
Ugh.
What? Oof. Did you say?
Come on.
You don't like Shawshank Redemption?
What? Well, I don't like a film that gets blown up into like mythical status. It's a good film. It's a solid film.
Insane.
You are insane.
It's not like. It's just like
Classic.
E.T. It's like people with ET. They just
no.
lose
You
their
can't
minds.
compare. You can't compare Shawshank with ET. How dare you?
There's some good bits in it, and all the performances are great. And people need to win Oscars, absolutely. But it's not this. Oh my god! I think the best film in the world is definitely The Shawshank Redemption. And he does this, and he does that, and he does that. And you're like, oh Christ! Sorry, I might have to take that one out. What?
What's that to you today?
It's deranged. That's it.
We'll get to.
Anyway, look, just to recap: Four Weddings and a Funeral.
Yeah.
Very good, popular film. Quiz Show, underrated, classic. Shawshank Redemption, Stone Cold banger, whatever you say. And Pulp Fiction, it beat all of those. Forrest Gump. So what a year that was. Yeah. Honestly, the 90s were the best decade. I can't wait until we branch off into the 90s. They were.
Yeah, thanks for I'm glad you've enjoyed your time slumming it on the 80s until we finally get to the 90s.
Yeah,
is this just an audition, or is it? Or...
Blank walls behind me. I'll have pictures of Oasis. I'll have Pulp Fiction. Oh, it's gonna be awesome. Yeah,
you're gonna do your Scatman impression, or Scooby-Doo.
That's what you mean by Scatman, is it? Well, don't Google it, kids. Don't Google Scatman.
Yeah, don't.
Okay.
Right, anyway,
the S&M, doesn't it?
Look how much I'm going to get right. I'm going to whiz through these.
Okay,
Robin Wright.
Sorry.
She was in Toy. She was in your favourite, Unbreakable. Joe.
Oh, yeah.
Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, Everest, Moneyball. She was in Wonder Woman 1 and 2, Blade Runner 2049, Justice League, and most recently and controversially, House of Cards with Kevin Spacey.
And she was married to an asshole.
Who was it?
Sean Penn.
Oh, Sean Penn. That's right, isn't it? Yeah, good actor. Yeah.
No, but he wasn't very nice to her either.
Well, he wasn't very nice to Madonna, was he? So.
No.
But I'm not being funny. Mystic River is just next level. It's good stuff. That is good acting.
Didn't see that one.
Very good. Right. Let's.
Oh yeah, do that. Go and see
that. Do. Anybody listening, go and watch Mystic River. It's fine. You need to. Chris Sarandon, Prince Humperdinck.
Any relation to Susan?
Yes, brother.
Really? I didn't know that. Is that true?
Yes.
Interesting.
He's the voice of Jack Skellington in Nightmare Before Christmas. Let's move on.
Frightening.
No,
Is it
Fright
him?
Night. Yeah.
You
Fright
didn't like
Night.
that movie either, huh? I like that movie.
Fright Night was all right. Yeah, I'm not totally gonna. If I like the film. Well, we're coming up to Christopher Guest, Nigel Tufnell. Let's turn up to 11. Spinal Tap. You wouldn't even recognise him, would you? Really? You think?
We've done him recently.
No, but you wouldn't recognise him in the film unless you read that was him. You wouldn't guess that was him. I don't think, anyway.
I recognize him right away, but I guess because I've seen him a lot.
Wallace Shawn. Inconceivable. I can't believe the first thing that I wrote that came out of my own head before I wrote anything else and looked it up. He was the dealer in Vegas Vacation with Chevy Chase.
Really?
Yeah, right. Bloody hell.
And I just read that, and then I went, right, I'm going to have to research this. Wow. He was in Prick Up Your Ears, She's Out of Control, Clueless, the Pink Panther series, which I didn't know, The Incredibles, Young Sheldon, and he's the voice of Rex in Toy Story. The dinosaur. So
Well, his big movie was My Dinner with Andre.
I don't know. Okay, I missed that one. I probably skimmed over it because I didn't know what it was.
Well, it's a,
My Dinner
it's
with
a
Andre?
classic. Yeah.
Right. Is it good?
An avant-garde drama. I've got it down here as, so I just thought it sounds obscure. But that's his. That was his. Go on, Joe. Elaborate then.
It's a bit pretentious. It's basically two guys having dinner at a dinner table, and he's not Andre, so he's kind of like.
Is the other one
Whitnell
Andre
and
the
I.
Giant? Yeah.
No.
'Cause I'd pay to
watched
see that
that.
man eat at a restaurant, trying to use the knife and fork and his massive hands of his, and hilarity winning shoe. But that wasn't the gist, no.
No, it's just a bunch of yuppies basically having dinner, and like they'll bring them their salad, their soup, their main course, their dessert, and then they just talk about life, But like some people, well, again, they'll say it's so avant-garde, but most people will watch it and say it's very boring. I remember there's a scene in The Simpsons where Martin is playing a video game. They're in an arcade and he's playing My Dinner with Andre.
That's the reference, right? Brilliant. Okay.
And he hits the button and he says, "Tell me more."
Fair play, Joe. Fair play.
Andre the Giant. I don't have anything for him.
Are we doing a separate trivia time today? Because I've got a few bits of trivia for him, which I could insert
We
here.
will.
Crowbar
Yeah,
him.
we will do. Fred Savage. Anyone?
I wonder
Films?
years.
Wait a minute, are you serious? You don't have anything for Andre the Giant?
No.
Well, he's
What have you
one
got?
of the most famous wrestlers in the world.
Is he?
You didn't know he was a wrestler?
No.
Good Lord. I think
Okay.
it was WrestleMania 2. He fought Hulk Hogan. He was like the most popular. I would say it's Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant are the most popular wrestlers ever.
Joe, we had 4 channels and we barely got anything. The only wrestling we got was Big Daddy and Giant Haystacks
That's right. Shirley
on a
Clampitt.
Saturday afternoon. That's all we got. Hulk Hogan, we didn't know who he was when we watched Rocky 3.
Really?
Well, no, why would we?
I don't know, because I thought it was just a phenom. There's a documentary about Andre the Giant. It's kind of interesting.
Is it all about wrestling?
It's more about that, and more than just wrestling. But he's so big, the guy. I mean, he's over 7 feet tall, and what is he, like? Maybe 400 or 500 pounds. Maybe I guess he's like 500 pounds. He can't fit on a toilet because he'll just break it. So he's got to take a crap in the tub.
Oh, that's horrendous.
Okay, maybe I skated over this. I need to do better research next time.
And then
That's horrible.
and then when he stays in hotels, like the maids have to clean that up.
Oh no,
What?
that can't be real.
No, why doesn't he scoop it up and put it in the toilet himself?
Because he was famous.
That can't be real. That's rubbish.
That's not right. Yeah, you're making.
Oh,
that
look
up.
it up. No, it was in the
Reminds me of my
documentary.
career as a scat man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. Why's Charles's search history? Giants dumping into bathtubs. Man, don't worry. Everything's fine. Don't worry.
No, I'm going to do my fact on him now, given that we've
Go on,
already
then.
clearly got into trivia time. So he was also unofficially crowned the greatest drunk on earth for once consuming, and I've got the US and UK measures here, 119 12 US fluid ounces. Joe, hope that means something to you. Or 41 litres of beer in 6 hours, which on David Letterman's show, he told him it had actually been 117 beers that he'd drunk. And when Letterman asked him if he was drunk off the back of that alcohol consumption, he said he couldn't remember because he passed out. On the episode Legends of Wrestling, Mike Graham said that Andre the Giant once drank 156 fluid ounces of beer, which is 73 litres or 128 pints in one sitting, which was confirmed by other witnesses. The Fabulous Moolah wrote in her autobiography, there's no more authoritative source than the Fabulous Moolah, that he drank 127 beers at the bar of the Abraham Lincoln Hotel in Reading, Pennsylvania, and later passed out in the lobby. The staff could not move him and had to leave him there until he awoke. And he was once challenged to a beer drinking contest by some foolish individual called Dick Murdoch, and after 9 hours or so, he'd drunk 116 beers. Nearly there, but this one ties into a film we're watching. A tale recounted by Cary Elwes, is that how you're pronouncing it?
Well,
about
okay.
this book about the making of The Princess Bride. He said that Andre the Giant fell on top of somebody while drunk, after which the NYPD Blue had to send an undercover officer around to follow him to make sure he didn't fall on anybody else during the filming of the thing. And finally, that's double finally, he drank 14 bottles of wine ahead of his famous WrestleMania 3 match. So, yeah, hats off.
Oh, it was WrestleMania 3. Okay.
Yeah.
Did it say how much he weighed?
No, I basically focused on the alcohol consumption, but no. I reckon he's carrying a few pounds if he could put away that much. He's like kegs on legs.
Yeah, so like when he
14
sits
bottles
there-
of wine before he goes into the ring.
and Hulk Hogan lifted him up and body slammed him.
Oh, surprised he didn't
Lord.
spew everywhere.
Yeah.
Good thing he didn't crap his pants.
Yeah, while he was just passed out in the hotel lobby. Lovely. Right, Andre the Giant. That's good, actually. That's the most information we've ever had when I've had a blank entry where I basically just was not going to do anything. Fred Savage, Vice Versa, with Judge Reinhold, The Wizard, The Wonder Years, obviously, as you said, Manda. Gold Member, Mole.
Oh yes, he is, isn't he?
Mole.
Yes.
Yeah, it's Fred Savage.
Mm.
Yes, I do indeed have a mole. Thank you. Get out of the way. And Deadpool 2. He was in as well.
I just want to say
Pete-
really quick. So Andre the Giant was 520 pounds.
Which is
So it's a lot.
okay.
you know,
All right.
What's
So
that
why
in
don't you put
English?
520
You have to
pounds on
convert-
your toilet and see if it breaks?
What's it in stone?
Oh, I don't know. I
What?
that always confuses me.
What pounds? Anyway, Peter Falk, Columbo. Let's move on.
37 stone he was.
37 stone. Blimey.
God.
Peter Cook. He's not in it for long. He's more
Imagine the size of his balls. That's what I'm thinking.
Jeff Wode. Bedazzled. He was in the original Bedazzled, not the remake with Liz Hurley, where Liz Hurley's pretty sexy in the remake. He was in the famous TV series, not only, but also he was in Derek and Clive, the most famous one, Derek and Clive Get the Horn, which is incredibly funny because all they do is just get copious bottles of whiskey with him and Dudley Moore, and they get so drunk, but it's mostly based around cancer. So I guess if you find that they managed to make cancer, well, just go and listen. Unfortunately, he also appeared in Supergirl to his detriment.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah. Next, Mel Smith. So Peter Cook died in 1995. Mel Smith died in 2013. Over here in the UK, Alas Smith and Jones, who was famous for, with Griff Rhys-Jones. He was in Morons from Outer Space with Griff Rhys-Jones. But he also played the hotel owner the hotel rep in National Lampoon's European Vacation. I wish I could get all of the references in. That's it for National Lampoon's Vacation references. But yes, he's the one that tells them what the phone bill was. Yeah.
I'm just going to come out and say it, yeah? Speaking as a patriotic British person, Mel Smith and Peter Cook badly let the side down in this film. They are total weak links in an otherwise impeccable ensemble performance, I think. They are indulgent Peter Cook in particular is just terrible.
I had fond memories of that, and then when I was rewatching it, I was like, "Yeah, this isn't what I remember."
I agree.
Drivel.
Yeah.
The rest of it's sharp, witty, zigging one-liners, and then you got this clown coming up and doing some kind of sub-pantomime-esque, guy with a speech impediment. I think it's awful. I can't stand anything like that, or the Goon Show, or anything. It's just Prince Charles and his posh mates having a chuckle about some nonsense they listen to the radio in their 50s. I can't stand it. So self-indulgent tripe by the director. For me, it loses a mark just for their performances.
Wow.
More so Peter Cook than Mel Smith. Who
But do you not find? Do you not like Peter Cook, or do you not? Or
Not
is
really.
it just you don't,
Not really.
you don't
Not a
like
big
Derek
fan.
and Clive then?
Prefer no, not really, if I'm honest.
Okay, that's fine.
I was gonna elaborate, but no, in short.
Well, no, I mean, I've vented a couple of things. I may, looking at this list, I still may yet with 2 to go.
Cool.
Carol Kane, anybody?
Taxi.
Okay.
I know you. I think she's mostly famous for Taxi, but I know you're going to say Scrooge.
Scrooge. She's the fairy in Scrooge, so she will come up again in the next month. We do Carol Kane. She was in the Corey Feldman, Corey Haim License to Drive. She's a nice guilty pleasure of the 80s. She's also in Jumping Jack Flash with Whoopi Goldberg, which is not a bad film, I remember, but I only remember seeing it in 86. Adam's Family Values and Hunters, the series about undercover Nazi that we watched with Al Pacino on Amazon Prime. Yeah. And then lastly, we've got to finish off with, depending on how you feel about him, the great Billy Crystal. Who wants to go? Famous Billy Crystal is not a test. It's what do you think? What do we think?
Well, I first saw him in Soap.
Yeah, that's where I first saw him. Yeah.
And see When Harry Met Sally.
That's right. Yeah. Do we like that film? Do you think it's a good film?
All right.
Okay. It's not far.
There's that nervous chuckle from Dom. He's thinking that I'm going to eviscerate it. I'm not. It's okay.
It's okay. Yeah, dabbing with faint praise, isn't it? Really.
What do you want to say? I'm not going to gush about it. It's not.
Gosh,
I mean,
really?
I have issues with Meg Ryan. I don't have any issues with Billy Crystal.
Here we go. Go on. What's your issue with Meg Ryan?
Well, I just don't like her. She was rude to. She was rude to the. Who was it? Michael Parkinson.
Really?
Michael Parkinson. There's another British person who's overrated. Rest in peace and all that. But God Almighty, I'll use a polite version. He milked that one dry. That one trick pony that he was, bluff Yorkshireman. Sorry, Joe. I know this is a bit meaningless for you.
And most of our listeners, but yeah,
there are some things I would have to acknowledge that we don't do as well in Britain as you do in America. Wrestling would be an example. You talked about that earlier. I would love, Joe, for you to sit down and watch the car crash that was the British wrestling scene in the 80s and 90s. And another one is talk show hosts. That's why the King of Comedy doesn't really resonate over here, because they're just one-trick ponies.
What?
Local boys made good. Terry Wogan. They named a building after him, and he was just... Well, he might as well have got his hands and knees and bobbed his head in his guest's lap. That was essentially his shtick. And no wit, no insight. Honestly,
Michael Aspel? No.
He's the poor man's Michael Parkinson. At his absolute zenith, yeah. He was like worth Terry Wogan's toenail, perhaps. And I don't rate Terry Wogan.
Jeez.
Yeah.
So, it was going to be contentious, but yeah. Well,
no, I used to like
thank you for
Meg
helping me answer the question why I don't like Meg Ryan. But yeah, that's fine. Thanks.
Okay.
No, I thought she was cute, like especially in Inner Space. I thought she was cute.
Yeah.
But then she turned into a whore because she was married to Dennis Quaid, and then she started cheating on him with Russell Crowe, and then she basically left Dennis Quaid for Russell Crowe, and he's like, I just want to have a fling with you. It's like, I didn't want to have a serious relationship with you. So he kicked her out. And so I think that damaged her career.
No, I think playing a Gulf War helicopter pilot in Courage Under Fire pretty much helped nail her career. There's nothing much after that.
Amanda, I want to hear about the Dennis Quaid to Russell Crowe trade up or trade down. What are you thinking?
Wow. Russell Crowe in Gladiator, not bad. Russell Crowe after Gladiator, No.
Yeah, Zeus.
Well, that's who she was going after, the gladiator one.
Yeah. It's not sustainable, is it? That physique.
Well,
Well,
definitely not
clearly.
today.
Okay.
So anyway,
He
Billy
just
Crystal,
ended up with a dad bod, didn't he? A
best
big
film.
dad bod.
City Slickers. I'm just going to go out there and say, yeah.
Mm.
City Slickers 1 and 2, yeah. The Search
But-
for Curly's Gold.
I don't usually think much of voiceover work, but he definitely makes Monsters Inc. A good film. Mike Wazowski and that.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
what-
That's true.
Yeah, definitely.
my
He was
kids
big
love that.
inside. He was big for Saturday Night Live, too.
Yeah. Alongside De Niro and analysed that.
Oh yeah, good show.
Spinal Tap again. He was in, admittedly,
Barely.
but he's still in it. A film we've covered on the podcast. If you want to go back and listen to it, it's Running Scared, which I very much enjoyed. On that, Throw Mama from the Train. That was good. Yeah. Whether or not it's good in this, let's get to the film. Let's find out. Tell you what, should we watch the trailer?
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Well, okay. Here's the trailer, everyone.
I brought you a special present.
What is it? A book?
This is a special book. It was the book my father used to read to me when I was sick, and I used to read it to your father. And today, I'm going to read it to you.
I'll try and stay awake.
Wesley had no money for marriage, so he packed his few belongings and left the farm to seek his fortune across the sea. The law of the land gave Humperdinck the right to choose his bride.
The fabric will make the prince suspect the Gildarians have abducted his love.
You never say anything about killing anyone.
I just happened to look behind us and something is there.
He's obviously seen us with the princess and must therefore die. Pick up one of those rocks, get behind the boulder. The minute his head is in view, hit it with the rock!
I was not a sportsman like you.
I've got my country's 500th anniversary to plan, my wedding to arrange, my wife to murder. I'm swamped. Excuse me.
Jesus, Grandpa, what did you read me this thing for?
Well, who says life is fair? Where is that written? Fencing, fighting, chases, escapes, giants, monsters, torture, revenge, true love, miracles.
Look, I'm retired. I might kill whoever you wanted me to miracle.
He's already dead.
I'll take a look. Bring him in.
It's not my fault being the biggest and the strongest. I don't even exercise.
Right, that was a rubbish trailer.
It was rubbish.
It's just,
Very lackluster trailer, that.
plus it gives it away because it shows him without the mask. Oh, so the farm boy at the start. Oh, right, so that's him. That's your, isn't that your big selling point that you not supposed to know who he is?
Yeah.
Hmm.
But I think it was pretty obvious that you can tell who it was as soon as
Yeah.
you talked.
Well, it's like
Clark
the
Kent level of
Clark
disguise,
Kent.
wasn't it?
Yeah. Yes. Why do you sound like? Why have you got the same bone structure? And why do you sound like Westley, the farm boy? Anyway. Right. So on to the film. Opens up. It's a Christmas film. Do we agree?
No.
It's set at Christmas.
That's the maddest comment.
It's at
How could you
Christmas.
start this off with? That was 100 to 1 shot. This is a Christmas film. Do we all agree? What?
How is this a Christmas film?
In what
It's set at
sense?
Christmas.
Where? This is set in the
In the
boys.
bedroom.
He's sick and he's in a bedroom.
The mum opens it up. It's got Christmas lights on. It's got there. The book he opens up is in Christmas wrapping. There's a Santa on the shelf. I don't know how much more you want.
Missed that. I saw that it was snowing, but
I will say Die Hard is a bigger Christmas movie than this one.
Yeah, well, Of which Amy is going to, our daughter is going to come to that. She's going to see Die Hard in the best possible way next weekend. No, it's 2 weekends. Yeah, it's a week on Saturday. Can't wait for that
version with the MFs left in it and everything.
Oh well, yeah. I assume that we don't go to a cinema that says censored. Yeah,
Muddy Funsters.
That would be really popular, wouldn't it? There'd be like 4 people in there going, "Yes, well, I never did like the swearing in Die Hard, so I'm glad they released the uncensored version." Oh, it made a total of £47 nationwide.
Well, I think that was. Well, let's not get into all personal details.
I don't know, but what
GDPR.
cinema would you go to where you go, I'd like the censored version if that's all right?
All right, fair enough.
No. Just watch it at 3:00 on ITV. You'll get that version.
Oh, it's a 15, isn't it?
It is. We've got to prepare her for obviously the blood and the.
Oh, she's seen
the
worse.
Feet. I know, but dragging his feet over with
worse
the blood pouring out. Like
shoot 'em up games. What is it that you play? Call of Duty.
I play Call of Duty. Yeah, she watches out. She's my spotter on Call of Duty now and again.
She's more in that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there is quite some finishing moves which are quite harsh. All right. Anyway, right onto the film. So, okay, it opens up. It's with a Christmassy feel, not a Christmas film.
Not.
And it's Peter Falk is reading to his sick grandkid, Fred Savage, The Princess Bride that's been handed down. Saw that in the trailer. So how do we like the opening of the film? How do we like how it's set? How do we like the setup and the layup? I would go for, I'd just say I love the quick pace of explaining things, and you didn't have to wait too much to get to the point, which is the start. I really appreciated that. I thought it was very well done.
There's definitely a pacey start, and it gets cracking, doesn't it? And I think that's quite an unusual device that they have told in storybook form, isn't it? And they keep occasionally cutting back to the kid and his grandpa in the bedroom, and I think that works really well. Actually, I think it could be clunky and distracting, but I think that works well throughout the film. But I think, as Amanda said in her intro, that the start, it's hard. This is a love story, and I think they do tee it up really well. Those long, lingering glances across the fields, the inverted relationship where the woman's got all the control, and the fact that they both obviously get off on that to some extent. Oh, farm boy and As You Wish. I think it's slightly. I think one of the brilliant things about this film is it works for children who can just enjoy it on that straightforward romance and adventure level. But there's plenty there for the adults, I think, to enjoy watching it. And a couple of us on this pod at least picked up on a bit of a submissive. Domination vibe going on there a little bit.
Sadist and domination, yes.
Yeah. Semi-firm, perhaps. Some people might have been watching this intro. Obviously not me. But
maybe that's why guys like it so much.
I don't know. I've gone to conventions that sponsor that stuff, and I didn't see that in this movie.
Did you not?
No, I did not. There's
Wow.
something called Fetish Con over here in St. Petersburg.
Right.
And I've been there several
we
times.
know all about I've seen the pictures.
I haven't. I don't know about this.
Okay.
I think our listeners deserve to hear more. Go on, Joe.
Yeah.
Well, it's,
fill your boots. Perhaps you did. I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know what I can say and what I can't say.
Well, let's put it this way. Just be, well,
hardcore, Joe.
Go for it. Just do it. It's fine. And let's find out what happens when I don't click the button. It's fine. But don't go into graphic detail about, I don't know, glory holes and stuff. Whatever.
Oh, he started backtracking.
I didn't see what.
Go for it, Joe. But no detail. Go on, Joe. Just let your filthy mind wander. Go on.
No, there's a lot of hot girls there. Definitely. They basically they push all these different fetishes. Like one of them is, S&M bondage, and then they have what is it? Because I have a couple of friends that are models that go there, and she switched from being a bondage model to a what is it, the disciplinarian, what is that called? Dominatrix. Yeah, she became a dominatrix. Makes a hell of a lot of money being a dominatrix, which I get a kick out of all the stories that she tells me, which again I'm afraid to say on this podcast. But yeah,
you send Dom the photos later that you showed me.
I don't have any photos of that.
No, you don't know. Not photos of that. Just photos of the two girls.
Oh yeah. I'll send some pictures. I'll put it on WhatsApp. But
how does it work though? Do they all have stalls or something? And they go, well,
so they have a convention. They have a convention, like a convention center, kind of like Comic-Con, where they sell stuff. So they'll sell videos and they'll sell whips and they'll sell dildos and sex machines and whatever they you can imagine, masks and all that stuff.
Whips, dips, chains, and dips.
There was a guy, which was like, I used to go to the meet and greet, which I used to love because it was like basically it was a bar and you'd meet all the girls and all that stuff and you just talk to them. But there was a guy that used to come there and he was legless. Like he was basically, he didn't have like below his torso, he had nothing, although I think he might have had a penis, so he used to lay down at the bar and wait for girls just to stand on top of them, on top of him, and they would just basically stand in his area where his penis was. And
what?
Yeah, by the bar, like they'd be drinking while standing on top of him. I've seen like a lot of weird things. Like I saw like this 90-year-old guy dressed in a diaper.
I've seen documentaries about like baby transition and stuff. What's it, infantism or something like that, isn't it?
No, he was just some dude in a diaper. It was like, it was weird, and there was a girl there. And my friend does this too. She gets paid a lot of money for it. I can't believe we were saying this during the Princess Bride thing. I keep thinking of your clients. But guys pay a lot of money to get kicked in the balls.
Oh,
and so there was a girl at the bar and she was really hot, and I was like, I don't know if I have the courage to go up to her and talk to her, and I was like slowly making my way up to her, and she looked beautiful. She was like in a business outfit and all that, and all of a sudden she just runs like she's I guess you would say a football goalie, and she kicks this guy in the nuts like she was trying to get that ball all the way across the field. Like her foot would have touched her head if his balls weren't there.
Oh my God.
And then I was like, I'm done. It's like I just walked away from her. I was like, nope, it's not worth it, But guys are into that stuff. I don't know why.
I don't know. I still remember being on the football field, age 12, getting a free kick straight in the happy sack from about 10 yards out. And I still remember the pain for that. And there was absolutely no erotic element to it whatsoever. Walking around speaking in a high-pitched voice for the next week with you looking like I've got mumps because they're around your neck somewhere. That's
did you have a cup on?
Somebody to do that?
Did you have like a cup or an athletic supporter on?
You have a cup in football.
Not for soccer, as you would call it.
No.
Yeah. Was that just in rugby?
No.
Cricket.
Did you talk like Steve Martin in Planes, Trains and Automobiles for a while?
Right. Yeah. But I don't know. Obviously, who's to be judgmental? Each to their own, and the world's
absolutely
varying place. But I do think anyone who enjoys getting kicked in the balls so hard that a woman's foot would have got up to her head, presumably is then hospitalised or unable to do anything other than lie in a fetal position for a while. What's the turn on there? And if you'd lost your legs, why would you let women stand on your groin? Because you'd surely be protective of the last little thing you've got going on.
Well, it turns them on and you can look up their skirts at the same time.
In an era where you can get 24-hour hardcore pornography on your phone, with 2 clicks of your thumb, why is lying on the floor looking up at a woman's skirt such a massive part?
Because it's real, Dom. It's real.
Yeah.
Touchable.
Yeah.
Plus
and
2 clicks.
The only downside is you have to humiliate yourself and have your groin, should we call it, stepped on.
I think they would take their heels off. Yeah, so
can we get back?
Let's get him on.
Look, I do love this.
Let's edit him onto the pod.
Poor Frankie's going, well, it'd be nice to know what they actually thought of the bloody thing.
Bring old Stump on. That's what I say. Anyway, so obviously we're not talking about that level of eroticism in this, children's film, but there's definitely some lingering glances. And
you guys are
knowing references,
right?
Oh, and the Farm Boys line I will always come for you.
Ooh, no, you make
That
it.
is
You're building a
mentioned
good
in the
case.
film.
To be fair,
Hey?
you're building a good case. Yeah.
Mm.
I'm convinced. Anyway, she's kidnapped by
Well,
this.
I have a
by
question
this
though.
Drake.
But
We're never gonna get. We're never gonna get.
I'm not
there,
going
are
to
we?
talk about sex or anything like that. But you know, what? For the first time, I realized so she's basically a commoner, right?
What she is?
In the beginning.
Whoa, no, she's got some form of. She's higher than him.
Well, you know, no, I think they were both poor.
Commoners didn't hire other commoners to do.
But she wasn't a royal.
She wasn't royalty. No.
No, but she was high up, and she's probably like a. I don't know, Baron's daughter. I don't know.
It's like she had a stall to shit in, and he didn't.
Crikey, Jay. I mean, look, I know I go into levels of trivia about,
No, but I'm just saying
how the Hoth base was protected in Empire Strikes Back doesn't make any sense at all. But let's not go down that road.
I just don't get why they would call it the Princess Bride. I mean, well, I guess like when the king got engaged to her, he made her a princess because she wasn't a princess.
Yeah, that's where it comes from.
Yeah,
Look,
because he says that he can pick anybody from the land. Yeah.
We are getting bogged down in a film that does move along at a reasonable pace, as you say, because after this initial introducing the two central characters, then you get to meet the baddies, and that's brilliant, isn't it? The Sicilian, the Spaniard, and Andre the Giant, quite a freaky bunch. And the kidnapping happens, she's on the boat, the killer eels, all this happens within a very short time frame, and I think it's definitely one of the strengths of the film. And ultimately, something that the film can't carry on, I think, is that level of quality and pace that it has at the start.
Yeah.
And the classic lines start inconceivable. Yeah.
Yeah. And who knows? Who knew he had a built up an aversion to iocane powder? It's just he could never lose. But yeah.
Well, hang on a second. There's moving along at a lick, and then there's leaving out chunks of the film. You can't possibly bloody hell, Charlie.
Well, no, we were talking about it moving on.
Yeah, but my favourite scene you've missed out there, which is when the Spaniard and the Dark Pirate Roberts, or Dread Pirate Roberts, whatever it's called, have that sword fight.
Mm-hmm.
They're both virtuosos. They're both using their wrong hand. They both have that banter and that rapport and that mutual respect, but it's going to be a fight to the death. How can you miss that scene out, eh?
That, to me, was very Zorro. It was very Puss in Boots as well, wasn't it? So, from Shrek.
Yeah. There's loads of Shrek references, though, aren't there, as well?
Yeah.
Sorry, Shrek subsequently referenced this film, the way that Prince Humperdinck is on his balcony. I think that's shot for shot the same as it is in Shrek as well. Anyway, presumably we're going to skip to the end now, because Charlie's got fed up with us dragging our heels.
As I say,
let's talk about every scene, shall we? We'll talk about every in order as well. Don't go outside of that. We need it to be a very linear. That's all right.
One thing I found that I really didn't like this time was the music, because it sounded like a video game,
Yeah.
But it could be because
they're like harsh keyboards.
It could be that the kid is so into video games that in his mind that's how he's picturing it. I don't know, but I think it would have been nicer if it was like a full orchestra or something like that.
Yeah, you don't see too many of the Princess Bride showing with a live orchestra. I don't suppose you have that over in the States.
Well, we do, but but not the Princess Bride. No.
I think the ones we've got are Home Alone and Muppet Christmas Carol this year, where you just have the live orchestra. It's nice and Christmassy. Okay, right. Well, somebody else move it on, because otherwise I might go too fast for Dom. I don't know.
Well, why don't we get to that poison wine scene then, Charlie, that you skipped to prematurely previously?
Very well done, very well written. It's a genuine comedy scene, and in which logic is just trying to work it out. And in the end, he went, "I've given nothing away. You've given everything away. Oh, look over there." It's a good scene. It's a very good scene, and sets it up nicely for obviously the two of them being together, and then spending for the next 20 minutes or so having to go through the obviously the what was it called, the forest? Can't remember.
Fire swamp.
I was going to say, I don't know any Sicilian that sounded like that. I love him, but I would picture that he would have had some kind of accent.
Right. Okay.
I was Well, getting to Mandy Patinkin, where he played, what was his name?
Inigo Montoya.
Yeah. I thought he was a Spaniard, and I was surprised to learn that he was actually Jewish, So, as you would say, fair play on him.
Yeah, absolutely. The fire swamp. I know that one of the rodents were all played by people in suits.
Oh, really? It wasn't a big, massive rat.
Thank God you told me that.
I thought this was the first misstep of the film. I thought the really high quality, well written and sharp, and then they go to some Fraggle Rock level of rubbish puppetry and men in costumes. So I just think all right, they're working on a budget, but goodness me.
Yeah,
I'm assuming
I'm
assuming they were midgets, or can we say that? Little people.
Dwarves?
You can say whatever you like. I think it's people with diminutive stature.
No, small people are called.
Small. Okay, that still retains some of its potential humour, I suppose. The bit in one of the people that played one of the rats was caught speeding on the way to the set, and basically, no, it's true.
Oh.
He was caught speeding and basically said, you need to let me off. Why? Because I'm playing an oversized rat in a film. And basically went, no, the police didn't believe him and actually dragged him off. And the reason he was late is because they took him to jail. So he didn't have to miss a day's filming because the guy in the rat suit, couldn't attend.
Where was it filmed?
Mostly in England. I think the majority of it was in England. There's quite a lot of halls that are mentioned as location shoots, and one of them is Haddon Hall. I should have pointed out should have looked up where that was. I didn't.
That's a really bad story. So the police didn't believe him. They say they dragged him off his little booster seat, and they chucked him in the back of the wagon.
Oh, he drove a little car, like a little clown car type thing. Yeah, that's what he drove.
Mr. Bean's car.
Charles, that's just prejudice. That's sickening. Okay.
He might have a little car. Why would you have I don't know. You might have a
regular sized car and just a big old booster seat in it, and passed off as a normal member of society.
Were they call the cops bobbies or something over there?
Well, I think if you've got a time machine, you can go back and
say, yeah, right. You're going to a movie. You're going to the slammer. You are.
Oh, Brilliant. Joe, I love you.
He's great.
We all love him.
He's so good. He tries so hard. It's so. I gotta.
Nice.
Endearing.
Bobbies? No, we don't call them that. There's more. There's names I couldn't. When's the last time you heard anyone refer to them as the Bobby?
Well, yeah. Well, back in days of old, they were the Bobby, the local Bobby. You used to have somebody assigned to your area that used to just walk around and do local sort of policing and stop the youths from graffitiing and stuff.
Now they're called Rozzers, or there are names for them which I can't possibly put.
No. We're pro police on this pod. We're a pro police pod, PPP. Yeah.
Oh, are we? Right. Okay. Right. So moving on, the fire swamp. Minor annoyance. They come out of the fire swamp, and lo and behold, the Prince Humperdinck and his troop that were chasing them catch them at the end of the fire swamp. Did they not have to go? Did they not go through the fire swamp?
They went round it. They knew the shortcut.
Because there was a scene where they were in the fire swamp.
Yeah, but they were like, "Oh, I'm sure there's another route round."
Horses.
Well, they had a lot of knights with them.
Mm-hmm. I'll say it again. They had transportation, didn't they? That's your explanation. That's your weird.
What? So it's so difficult
error.
with sands everywhere that people can fall into, and you've got fire going off all over the place. You actually think having a horse in that forest makes it an advantage?
No, but I'm going to blow your mind here, right? And that's that forests have boundaries, and you can go round them. So yeah. I know.
That's a massive place, though. Well, why didn't they go around them?
Because they didn't have horses.
Oh, jeez.
Horses are the crucial plot point there that you've overlooked.
And they were probably having sex too, and we just didn't see it.
There you go. Yeah, all that getting sucked down into the quicksand. triggered some erotic associations in their mind, and they just had to go at it like a couple of woodland creatures.
What, like
Possibly
asphyxiation thing, was it?
Yeah. Have you spiked his Pepsi Mango tonight, Amanda? Because he's
Well,
off
it's
his
Amy that
head.
brought it up, not me.
He's off his head tonight.
Well, if you're in quicksand, you can't breathe, can you? Might be a turn on. I don't know.
Suffocation's a thing, isn't
Yeah,
it?
exactly.
Here we go.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, I don't know about this. What are you on about, Amanda?
Oh,
weird.
so I was just checking to see if there was a porn version of The Princess Bride, and there is.
Is
What's it
that?
called?
It's called The Princess Bride, Princess Butterbutt.
Oh, yikes. Anyway, Amanda, let's keep this civil. Go back to your comments on suffocation and the erotic potential for that. So,
Yes.
where were you?
I just happened to say it is a thing.
It's a thing.
I
Yeah.
would not know about it personally,
Okay.
but asphyxiation, yeah.
Charlie's got a bead of sweat appeared on his brow.
Raised
all I know-
heartbeat, and
Michael Hutchins loved it. I remember that.
yeah, it's supposed to heighten orgasm, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Mm.
Having never done it, I don't have a frame of reference.
I don't think I could ever do that.
Kill Bill too. He also died from that too.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
Oh, popular then. In that way, right?
Not recommended, kids. Don't do that either. Don't Google that.
Yeah.
Anyway, she makes a deal and says, "Don't harm him. And don't harm him, and I'll become your wife, and I'll become the queen, and I'll do all of that."
I swear it will be done. That's what they say.
Yes, that's right. And then obviously, they have no intention of it. He gets taken down into the Well of Despair? Is it? If I remember it right. The Pit of Despair, I think it is.
It might have been the
something like
Pit of Despair. Yeah.
Pit of Despair.
Is that in the tree trunk?
Yes, that's right. Where
Weird.
only Mel Smith knows, and there's only 3 people that know where it is. And he gets tortured. Weirdly, I thought they might have turned it up to 11, but they didn't.
I like the way that it's described as the machine that sucks the life out of you, because I've been in meetings like that before. Yeah.
There's
Yes, it's
also
about-
machines that can actually do that.
Oh yeah. You
You're right.
can't keep dropping these cryptic hints into the conversation, then backtrack.
Oh, he acts like he's not a man of the world. I mean, crikey, he's playing
blushing.
a role here. The role is just to get as much information as he can so that he can incriminate. I don't know.
If I wasn't sitting in the gloom like I am, I would be. You'd see my blushing cheeks now. So maybe blushing cheeks is something to do with what you're talking about, Amanda. I don't know. You have to elaborate.
Cheeks, no, it has nothing to do with cheeks.
Okay, so
Blimey.
Sucks the life out of you. What are you talking about?
Back to the film, right, kids? Calm down, you crazy kids.
She's sending me WhatsApps now. Fuck, Amanda, calm down.
No.
Anyway, he gets tortured. She becomes the queen. He says, "I'm going to send 4 ships out in each direction." Even though that doesn't make any sense. So what? One goes north, one goes east, one goes west. So there's so much room that's not covered, but it's fine.
Maybe it was flat Earth. I don't know.
Oof, let's not go
Maybe
down
they
that
had a
road.
quadrant each.
Let's say flat Earth for the next season. Yes, so gets tortured, and because she's resisting, and because she's he gets so upset that he turns the machine up to 20, I think. Was it 20 or 30? 50. Turns it up to 50 and kills him. And at that point, the reintroduction of Inigo Montoya and Andre the Giant come back in, because the villagers have had to be cleared out. The thieves have to be cleared out of their town, and basically they need him, so they need him to go and get resurrected. So yeah, we're at that point. What did people think about the scene leading up to that? This is just before we get to Billy Crystal.
It's okay.
Torture scene, yeah.
Yeah.
As I
Yeah,
say,
I
I'm
think-
not a fan of Mel Smith's performance, but
No.
the kind of ambiguous machine, which never really explained what it does, just that it sucks a year off your life. Works well, I think.
I'm sure there was a gag in there about. Anyway, there is, and I'll just leave it.
I went a bit early with meetings. I could have kind of woven that in better. So yeah, just have you got any canned laughter teed up for the special effects here? Just play that over where I made a half delivered joke earlier. Yeah,
I will do something. I will work something out.
okay.
So we get to them taking them to Billy Crystal. Did we like the Billy Crystal Carol Kane bit, even though it's
No,
you didn't like it?
no.
You don't like Billy because you don't
I
like
don't
Billy
like
Crystal,
Billy
or because you don't like what he did in this?
Both.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I hated it. I didn't like them at all.
I didn't find it funny.
Oh,
First of all, it kind of I've seen him do that shtick so many times, like the old Jewish man. And I read in trivia that Rob Reiner, who was the director, was laughing so much that he couldn't be on the set.
yeah, I
when he
read
was
that.
filming
I was like,
are you serious?
yeah.
It's very cringy to me. It just doesn't belong in that setting.
I thought there were some good lines in it. You know, he's only mostly dead.
Mostly
and
dead,
he
yeah.
gets his hand flopped down, and he's. I've seen worse than things, but I think this is another example of where the director gets too indulgent, and he just allows this to run away with him. The prosthetics and the makeup are poor quality. Again, they've skimped on the special effects budget, I think, and that's distracting from the actual humor, which I think isn't, might be to everyone's cup of tea, but I thought was worked in places. But yeah, they just have these little set piece things which seem detached from the rest of the film, and they jar slightly, because I think the quality is a backhanded compliment in a way. The quality is so high elsewhere that when it lets itself down, it's a bit of a mishit. Like this scene, I think it really sticks out more noticeably.
Okay.
I mean, there definitely were a lot of people that liked it. I do know people that think that's the highlight of the film, and it's like, okay, to each their own, I guess.
I think it's so well done. I don't think there's a standout highlight for me. I don't think there's something that I'm waiting to get to that particular bit. I just think that the whole film works like really well. And especially when you get up to the Dread Pirate Roberts, where Andre the Giant plays him in order to get through the mountain of soldiers that are in front of the castle in order to get there. But yeah, I think because we're coming to the end of the film now, again, I agree with you about the Peter Cook thing. It is milked and overdone. Whereas again, I had fond memories of that. The bit where he's coming back to life, I think is well played, especially with the head movements and the movements and all that sort of thing. I did find that genuinely funny. So I did think that was good. But it leads up, I think it just cues everything up nicely for a really good end.
There's a line in some of these kind of final confrontations where the Spaniard is fighting the six-fingered man, who's the henchman, isn't he, the sort of bodyguard, and he does that line. That's the worst thing I've ever heard. How marvelous that used to be my mate's line, that he would surprising regularity be able to drop into conversation. It's probably on account of the fact he knew me and my travails through university. But yeah, that's it. The worst thing I've ever heard. How marvelous! Yeah, that's always stuck with me.
But the interplay going into what's again? God, I've got him written down here. Wonder Years.
Westley?
Fred Savage.
Yeah.
The cutbacks to Fred Savage are really good because don't like it, not happy. This is a kissing movie. Wait a minute, it can't end like that. Oh, you can carry on reading if you really want to, and then he's well into it. And he even asks at the end of the film, "Can he come back and read it again tomorrow?" And you're like, "Yeah, that sounds like." Well, obviously enjoyed it, but I think I think the interplay with the final scene and going into different rooms and them doing stuff over here and this happening over there, I think makes for a really sort of not necessarily a strong ending, but something that's it's good and it rounds the film off nicely, I think. Do we think?
I think it's wrapped up nicely. I don't know about strong finish, but I think it would
it's
be
not strong.
He couldn't let it. It is a fairy tale, isn't it? And so it's got to have a fairy tale ending. I think, and that's not to the detriment of the film. It'd be disappointing and jarring if it threw a twist in at the end. So I think the hero gets the girl, the evildoers are defeated, and some of the people that deserve a break get a break at the end of the film. So it's a nice way to end it all. It is a feel good film. I think it's classic. Sick day at school. Watch that, cheer yourself up a little bit.
Yeah, I'd say so. So, should we get to the scores then? Should we see what everyone thinks? Yeah. I guess Joe, do you want to go first, or should we go in the order that we went? And shall I go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
So yeah, as I say, it's a film that as you just put on, perfectly encapsulated, Dom. It's a perfect film that you'd have on if you weren't feeling too well and you just wanted something to watch that wasn't going to be too demanding, but it's going to deliver. It's going to be entertaining. I've got to give this 7.5 out of 10. I think it does have flaws, but yeah, I think that's where it naturally sits for me. Buttercup.
Yeah, I'll watch it again. In fact, I've got an operation in the week, so I will be recovering, and I probably won't want to pay attention too much. So it'll get itself back on again, because I kind of drifted off at the ending. So I'll watch it again and kind of pay a bit more attention. But for me, yeah, it was enjoyable. I like the kind of theme to it. The pirate guy was very easy on the eye. So yeah, it was quite nice. So yeah, 6.5 from me.
Oof. Wow. Didn't think it was going to be that high. Dom, where are we going with you, my friend?
Yeah, so definitely stronger than what's come so far. So I think it's a witty, charming, original film. There's a lot to be said for originality, I think. It's creative, full of lovely moments and quotable lines, many of which I still remember, some memorable characters. I think it can't sustain the pace and the quality of the first half of the film, and there are one or two scenes which do fall flat, so I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10.
Yeah, I would say it's no Raging Bull. It's not like it's a classic film, but I think what it does accomplish, it's a film that children can watch and also adults can watch together, where it's just fine for everyone to see it. It's one of those films where it's fun to watch, but again, it's not, I wouldn't say it's well written or it's perfect. It probably could have been if it had more time in the oven, but I think overall, like it does have rewatchability, which a lot of films don't have. So I'll give it an 8 out of 10.
Wow. Okay. I like that. It's a nice spread.
High scoring.
We're roughly in the same sort of. We're only, 2 marks out, so it's not like somebody really didn't like it. Yeah. Good. Nice one. Good pick, Frankie. Thank you for that. I would like to invite Frankie. You don't get another go for a while, but we will. If you do have anything, that by all means. Dom, you said you already had some queued up, but
yeah,
which we'll get to in a moment.
Frankie's contributed some already, so
okay, we'll get to that in one moment. But I would just invite listeners, dear listeners, we are here for your, listening pleasure or viewing pleasure.
I'm starting to get erotic overtones again, Charles. Yeah, we are your servants in this matter.
As you wish.
Yeah.
Yes.
Whatever you want us to do, it's fine.
If you want to recommend something, you want us to take a look at something, we are going to stray into the 90s. So if you want an 80s or a 90s,
we're prepared to push boundaries. Yeah.
Yeah. You can have The Adventures of Ford Fairlane if you so wish. That's a nice bridge between the 80s and the 90s. It's a film that Amanda would hate. And I'm not just talking don't like, hate. We might see the first zero, I think, if she ever watched that film still. Anyway, Dom, what were the 2 films you got? Are we allowed to know them now, or is it? No.
No spoilers.
Oh, okay. That's fine. All right. Are they part of your choice, or are they extras that we're going to put in?
This is for our next season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lucky 90s Lucky Dip.
They're part of my they're part of my overall choice, 2 of which have been supplied by Frankie.
Well, nice one. Let's hope Frankie hits the dartboard nail on. Gets it right.
Frankie hits the spot. It's
that's the one. That's the fella.
His name isn't really Frankie, is it?
Well, it's not a guy.
All right.
Like Frankie Bridge. So we can only do one Christmas film, by the way, Bombshell, because we don't have time to record. So we are. This is where the listeners, by all means, should we let the listeners decide which one they want to? I mean, we'll get votes. I genuinely have people that talk to me. I know that people at work listen to this.
Do you?
Yeah.
This is why we never improvise.
Say how much they like the podcast. Yeah.
Look, bar humbug. Why are we only doing one Christmas film between 26th of November?
Oh, I was looking at it as next week was the right. Yeah, no, we can do two.
Right,
okay,
Ebenezer.
let's do two.
Yeah, okay.
Right, okay. So
Pull yourself
Scrooge
together.
and A Christmas Story.
I might not be able to
Either one?
because
Are
I'm
you anti-
away with work.
Oh, that you were anti-Christmas or something.
Well, no.
Fancy Bill Murray.
I'm a little bit Scroogey, yeah, probably. But I'm going to be away with work for a bit after recovering from my op.
On a Sunday night?
Yes, I have to travel on a Sunday
It's
night.
travel time, yeah. The life of an auditor, hey? Glamorous. And that's you, sweetheart, of course, glamorous.
Oh, gee, thanks.
Um,
Sleepless nights because I can't sleep because it's a strange bed in hotels. That's what it boils down to.
So we'll work it out so you can join us for A Christmas Story, because I haven't seen that and I don't know anything about it, and I'm purposefully not finding anything about it because I'm genuinely want to sit down and see it for the first time. We'll do Scrooge then without you, because I know you don't like Bill Murray. Even though I will watch it and I'll have it on, that's fine. Okay, cool. Right. Well, then that's decided. No, listeners, you were about to, by all means, get in touch with us and say, what? why are you not doing? Well, look at what the Christmas films that we've done. Die Hard 2, Home Alone 2, Prancer. Don't go and watch that. Do listen to our podcast. Don't watch the film. It's possibly it might be the top 10 worst films I've ever seen. Maybe even top 5. Cool. Right. So on that note, ho ho ho. We'll see you in December for the first of the Christmas film. So I'm going to say cheerio. What?
Die Hard.
You just crushed his ending there.
Oh.
He did
I don't know
clarify.
what did you say?
To be fair, is it Die Hard?
We've done Die Hard. You didn't join us. Keep up. We've done that one.
It's a strong finish to the pod, everyone. Well
Yeah.
done.
Right. Cheerio, everyone.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Whip.
Bye.